up, all my best kept secrets listeners? I'm your host, Lele Pons, and coming to you this week with 2 brand new juicy secrets. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who's called in to share their stories and listened over the last 6 months that we've been doing this show. I'm going to be honest with you, this show has really opened my eyes because I've heard about so many different kinds of secrets, funny, silly, kinky. But today, what I want to talk about is the many different reasons we have for actually keeping something a secret in the first place. Sometimes we keep secrets because we feel bad, guilty, or ashamed about something we've done. But sometimes we keep secrets out of kindness to stop them from hurting others, especially when it comes to our families and those closest to us. And there are some secrets that benefit everybody involved, and then there's other secrets that we keep because we don't want to admit the truth, even to ourselves. I know from experience. I remember there's one time I got a tattoo, and I knew it was wrong, and I knew my parents were going to say no, and I never told them until they saw it, and I told them, but it was too late, so you can't take it off. And I told them that was just a couple of years ago. Even though it's weird because my dad has tattoos.
The following content contains adult subject matter, including sensitive material, and is intended for adult consumption only. It may not be suitable for all audiences. Therefore, discretion is advised. Lele Pons is not a trained expert, but is using her personal experiences and platform to create a space for sensitive discussions.
Today, all callers are a good example of people with different motivations behind keeping their secrets. Later on, I'm going to be talking to Paulina, who is hiding her long-distance relationship from her family. Maybe, there's a reason behind it, and she thinks it's a good idea. There has to be. If you're keeping someone from your family, it's because they probably don't like the person. But before that, let's hear from Holly about why she thinks it's a good idea for her husband not to know she has $500,000 in a savings account. Hi, Holly.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. We're excited to know why you're here and what is your best kept secret?
Well, my secret is that I am secretly hiding, at this point, almost $500,000 from my husband.
Why?
Well, he's terrible with money. And if we live paycheck to paycheck. And as far as he knows, he's the type of guy that if he has $100 in his pocket, he's going to spend $200 and worry about where he's going to get the rest of the money next week.
Yeah, that's stressful.
Yeah, so for as long as I've known him, I've kind of been squirreling money away on the side, and just over the years, it's grown and grown and grown, and now it's become a bigger secret than it started with.
Did you start saving that money before or after you got married?
I had money before we got married. But as far as he knows, we used that money to pay for our wedding. I told him that my parents weren't going to pay for the wedding, which they actually did pay for. So then I had the money when we bought our house. That money, some of the money that I saved went for the down payment on the house. Without that money, I wouldn't have been able to buy a house. I told him that my parents gave us the down payment for the house.
Okay. That must be so stressful. I'm so sorry that you had to lie. I understand where you're coming from. How long have you been, married? We've
been married for 22 years.
And you've lied to him like the whole time since the beginning?
I've been lying to him, yes, from the beginning.
Do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What does he think he has? Like, how much money does he think he has?
As far as he knows, we have nothing. We don't have a savings account. We don't have any investment. We don't have any, retirement money, nothing. As far as he knows, we have nothing. We have a joint checking account. And as far as he knows, there's just enough money each month, barely enough money to cover our mortgage and living expenses.
I wonder what would happen if he found out.
That's my biggest fear. That is my biggest fear. It started out, it was just a simple white lie. Now it's grown to a giant white lie, so
yeah,
it could go one of two ways. If he ever found out about it, he could be mad enough to divorce me, or I'm hoping that if, God forbid, he ever did find out about it, he would just be so happy that we have money that he would be willing to overlook it.
Did you notice his spending habits before or after you got married?
I knew that before. I knew, I was covering his bills before we got married. So I knew he was really bad with money.
Yeah. Do you handle finances for the house, or do you and your husband go over everything together?
Nope, I handle everything. That's why I've been able to keep it such a secret. He doesn't know, he knows we have a mortgage. He doesn't know what our mortgage payment is. He doesn't know what our day-to-day expenses are. I write all the bills. He knows what bank we use, but he wouldn't know like our bank account number. We don't have ATM cards, nothing like that.
Does that bother you?
No, not at all. Like, I think that just was our, how we kind of divided up what our household duties were going to be. Even before we were married, even before we had a house, like we kind of knew going into our relationship, like what everybody was going to, each was going to be responsible for. And, when I met him, he didn't even have a checking account. So it just seemed like the logical thing that I would be the one that handled the bills. And it just kind of went from there.
I think you made the right choice. I would do the same. Have you ever tried to, to have a serious talk with him about it?
No, like every now and then, like, sometimes you come into a little bit of money or you have an extra money, like sometimes you get a tax return that you're not expecting such a big amount and stuff like that. So money has come up and I see how he reacts to that money. If we get a tax return instantaneously, sometimes like even our tax returns, we'll split the money down the middle. So say, we get $4,000, he'll take $2,000, I'll take $2,000, he'll have his $2,000 spent within 24 hours.
What are some of the things that, he's bought that you think were completely unnecessary?
Oh my gosh. Well, he's bought a drone. He's bought, he bought a remote controlled helicopter like that you actually had to have a license to fly where we live. So it wasn't like something he could enjoy using on a daily basis. Like he's
like a little kid.
Exactly. Like you had to get permission from the local airport when you were going to fly this thing.
That's funny.
So it's like the things that he spends his money on are just stupid things.
Is it getting worse as he gets older?
Yes, I think so, because, as he gets older, just his pay increases and he just has more discretionary income to kind of, I give him an allowance every week. And he'll spend...
You're like the mom.
I am. And he'll spend, whatever his allotted...
Does he know that you know that he blows money?
Oh, he knows that. Yeah, definitely.
If your family needed money for something that, your joint account couldn't cover, would you go into your savings or find another way to cover it?
Absolutely. Family first. So, I would find a way, even if he got himself into financial trouble, obviously I'm going to bail him out. So I would go into the savings. Yes.
Do you think he would pressure you to spend some of the money if he found out?
Absolutely. No, I think if he found out, that's why I'm so scared that one day he's going to find out. And I know that if and when he does, he's going to want to spend that money. He's going to feel like he's entitled to it, that he earned it, and that he, put at least some of the work into getting that money, and he'll absolutely want to spend it.
I don't know how you're not like mad at him. I would be pissed.
I think, because we've been together, we were, high school sweethearts. We've been together for years and years and years. So, I'm pissed because I could be living a lot different if he, like, everybody has things that you want to spend money on. But like, if I have something, like if I saw a really gorgeous pair of shoes or a really nice purse, I would really think about it. I wouldn't see it today and buy it today, where he's just the opposite. If he sees it, he wants it, he buys it. Not, forget about tomorrow, forget about we have kids that are, like my older son is in college and it's like, we have to pay for a college education. And, so it's a good thing that I have this money, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to afford to send my son to school.
Since you're so good at, saving money, what advice would you give to our listeners trying to save money?
Oh, I would just say prioritize what you're spending the money on. If it's something that's going to give you instantaneous gratification, it's not going to be as worthwhile to you a couple of days, a month, a year later. Really think about what you're spending your money on. things come and go, and you never know. I always say that's how my savings started. Everything was always for a rainy day, because I was like, God forbid anything ever happens. I want to make sure that I have the money, to cover my expenses or take care of myself. And it just kind of grew from there. I wouldn't say that, I was cheating myself out of experiences or things. I still buy myself stuff, and I still, go on a vacation every year, but I don't, I would say save a portion of every paycheck you get. If you get things like a tax return, don't spend all that money. Put half of it away.
Yeah.
It's the little things that add. Take my case in point. After 30 years doing it that way, the little things. Sometimes in a month you get 5 paychecks instead of 4 paychecks. Save that 5th paycheck, and after a certain amount of time, you'll have a nice little egg.
I don't think you should feel guilty about this. You're looking out for your family, and eventually it's going to be for your kids or a rainy day, or retirement.
That's what I said. I was brought up to be very independent. I never wanted to have to depend on a man for anything. So I always wanted to make sure that I had my own money and I could take care of myself. And then when kids got into the mix, I always thought if I didn't have that second income, or if I didn't, I wanted to be able to provide for my kids.
You're very smart.
Well, thank you.
You should tell your kids one day.
No, because they'll want to spend the money too. So they're never going to know about it.
Okay. Well, good luck with everything. You're amazing. You're so smart. You're doing a great job. Don't feel guilty about this. And hopefully everything goes well for you and you keep this secret until you die.
I hope so. Thank you.
Bye. I have to give her props because it is hard to be with a partner that is like that. I usually don't spend money like that. I don't. I try to save a lot. So I'm very cautious when it comes to money. So it's hard to have a grown up, been in a relationship for 10, 20 years that is like that. And then your kids also are like that. And you're responsible for money, because money is, at the end of the day, is super important. So if it wasn't for her, she has to know that they'd probably be on the streets. If it wasn't for her, they would probably lose everything. So she has to know that what she's doing, she's saving her family. So props to her. I would do the same thing that Holly did, to be honest, because apparently her husband he seems like a child and can't control himself. But for our next call, I don't think I would do what Paulina is doing. So stay tuned, because we're going to have a quick break. And we're back, guys. We already talked to Holly, and right now we're going to go straight to Paulina. Let's call her. All right, we have Paulina.
Yes, Lele. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm dying to know, what is your best kept secret?
So, my parents do not know, but I am talking to a guy who is thousands of miles away from me in North Carolina.
Okay.
And I live in Kansas, and my parents think I'm talking to him about military stuff, but he's trying to plan a whole life with me.
Oh, wow. So you're really in love.
Yes. Well, he's the same age as me, but it all started when he started dating my best friend, and I held a huge grudge against him. And then I moved, and then we started talking again. And then we've just kind of reconnected, but it's a little bit more of a connection now.
Why are you hiding this from your parents?
Because they are very skeptical about him because they've never met him. And I'm actually not 100% sure because he is also very flaky. So I'm not too sure, but I feel like he's talking with other girls because sometimes he'll answer me and sometimes he won't. I've tried dating other guys, but it just doesn't feel the same.
Have you met up with him in person?
No, but I have. I lived near him, and we hung out all the time, and then I moved.
It sounds so crazy. How long have you been dating him?
Since 7th grade. So it's kind of been on and off right now. And
how old are you right now?
I'm 18.
How do you hide it from your parents?
Well, there's flip phones to keep in contact, and then I call them from different phone numbers from my friend's phone.
They're not gonna kill you, you know that, right? They're not gonna do anything. You're 18, you're good, and he's your age. It's okay.
I know, but it's just like they want it to be like closer because they just don't trust him.
Why don't they trust him? Did he do anything to you?
He's asked for things that I don't really want to give him, and that's kind of where that kind of started.
Like
with
what?
Like the trust issues. Well, he wanted pictures, and I did not want to send him that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I'm, trying to be responsible over here. I don't want, because I know that can just get sent out to.
And does your parents know that?
About the pictures? Yes, they did.
Why did you tell them then?
I'm scared, my parents are not like normal, It's kind of stressful, and I keep on thinking that he's talking with this other girl, and he hadn't talked to me for like 8 months, like straight. And I was like, maybe he's in the National Guard. So I thought he was like deployed or something.
I think you should literally forget about this guy if he's not meant for you, and let's make this your year and stop, following around a guy who leaves you for 8 months, and then your dad and mom doesn't like. I mean, there's a reason, and you just never see him. It's just not worth it. He's nobody. Like, how often do you guys talk?
Well, now we're talking a lot, but I mean, he's still a little flaky. I don't know if anything's going to happen between us, but he's like, I want to come down to visit you. And I've kind of been waiting, but
stop waiting. I don't like when girls wait for a guy. You shouldn't wait for nobody. You should live your life every day. And, maybe like the guy of your dreams probably is going to like walk right past you and you're not going to even notice because you're stuck with this motherfucker. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
You're so young and you have so much ahead of you. You're going to see, trust me, I was like that. But then I decided to move on. It's all about you. You have to be willing to decide. You have to want to move on.
Yeah, see, my friends say the same thing, but it's just like, it's that tie. And they've tried to hook me up with this other guy, and he's really nice, and he actually talks to me.
Oh, hooking up with other people, like it should come naturally. Let me tell you the truth. So many times I've been to dating apps. My friend introduces me to that. Never works. That barely ever works. I love when it's just like when you bump into somebody. You know what I mean? It's like that.
Right. I mean, there's a guy in my Spanish class right now, and we're kind of vibing, so maybe that'll work.
Go for him. Just try to see where this goes, and you never know. Maybe you go to his house and meet his cousin or his. Just go out and have an open mind.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to get like studying with him to practice our Spanish. So.
By the way, is this guy the one that you're talking to your first relationship, or have you had others?
I have dated 8 guys.
And none that you like?
No. I mean, they've cheated on me too, so like I have trust issues.
Have you hidden those ones from your parents or no?
Yes, I hid like half of them. So my parents had me kind of on a tight leash because, I didn't really make the best decisions.
Yeah. Does he know that you're keeping him a secret?
Yes, he can tell. He's like, I feel like you're hiding something from me. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't really want to talk about it. And then, so.
How would you think your parents would react if they actually found out?
They would just kind of look at me and be like, are you serious?
I would listen to your parents. If it was like a love story that he does so much for you and you do for him and you guys see each other a lot and he lives near you and stuff like that and you guys really know each other heart to heart, then yes, I'd be like, you know what? Go for it. But this is not worth it. It's not worth it. And I don't want you to lose the opportunity when somebody actually that's worth it comes along.
Right.
I wish you the best, boo.
Thank you.
And for you to find a guy that's actually good for you and the guy that you deserve, not a guy who I don't even you never even said his name. That's how important he is.
Yeah, well, no, I can tell you his name, but
nah, it's not even worth it to say his name. I think you should tell me the Spanish guy's name.
His name's
okay.
I mean, I guess there's like 2 guys. There's another guy named he's from El Salvador, so I'm trying to learn Spanish from him.
That's cute. Well, I wish you good luck with everything, and thank you so much for sharing your secret with us. Hopefully, we helped.
No, you definitely helped, Lele. I envy you, and you're like a huge role model to me. So it's an honor to talk to you and get advice.
Thank you. Trust me, I've been in your place before. It's so stressful. You don't need that stress in your life.
Right. All right. Thank you. I love you.
Love you too. Bye. I think she doesn't want to tell her parents because she knows that they want the best for her. And she knows he's not the best for her. So I wouldn't tell my parents either, to be honest. But I would listen to my friends because I do talk to them every day. And if she has true friends, they want the best for her. I don't really know her, but from what she tells me, I don't think the guy is right for her. I think the guy is just using her. He probably even has a girlfriend. And, I mean, they're not even together in person. He lives far. She lives far. I think you should see the signs. So I hope that she does. I hope that talking to her, she realizes and opens up a little bit. Sometimes we keep secrets because we don't want to hear the advice we know we need to hear. And I hope that hearing me makes her realize that she deserves better. Thank you so much, Holly and Paulina, for coming to the show and talking about your secrets and why you kept them. I think their calls are a very good example of what I was talking in the top of the show. Holly's keeping a secret from her husband and children, but she's keeping the secret for their benefit. She knows that he has a spending problem, so she's done the responsible thing for her family in the long run. And also her children, because apparently they're going to be the same way as her dad is. Their bills are paid, there's a roof over their head, and there's food in their belly thanks to the mom. So, gotta give it up to her. She's saving her family. And it sounds like her husband is still happy and is still able to buy toys like remote control helicopter. So it doesn't sound like he's struggling or constantly questioning their finances. He may not be able to go out and buy the surround sound stereo of his dreams, but he's probably happily trade that for the knowledge that his kids will be put through college and he can dance at his daughter's wedding. Plus, he seems to have got a pretty good deal by trusting his wives to handle their financial stuff. So I'm sure he'll be very happy if that money means that they can retire in style. On the other hand, Paulina is actually keeping a secret from her parents because she knows that what she's doing doesn't feel right. It's not correct. And her parents really don't like the guy. And she admitted that, he's flaky and she has suspicion that he's talking to other girls and he's not the right person for her. And her parents aren't fans of the guy, obviously. And to be honest, neither am I, because it's obvious that, there's a red flag when he asked her to send pictures of, herself. That's always a red flag. What the fuck are you gonna do with them? Why do you need them? You're so gross. I mean, unless you're my boyfriend, unless you're boyfriend and girlfriend for many years and have that trust, but hell no. I'm a little confused as to why she decided to tell her parents about that, but maybe that was her way of bringing her own concerns about it, because she's probably damn, I have to tell someone I feel uncomfortable. Paulina knows that there's something wrong with her relationship and is keeping the fact that it's been going on for so long that she doesn't want to hear the hard truth that he isn't right for her. He isn't that into her. And something that nobody wants to hear is that someone that you like is not that into you. And it's so easy when you're 18 to think that whatever relationship you're going in is going to last forever. But I really hope that Paulina's not wasting too much time on this guy. It's not worth it. I remember how overwhelming relationships can feel at that age. My God, I would meet one person and I would like plan out my fucking life with that person. And at the end of the day, you never know what the other person is even feeling for you. You don't even ask because you're so afraid to get like a no or like, hey, I'm not really into you. So we don't even ask. It's the worst thing ever. And it's always around that age. It's crazy. I know that Paulina struggles to let go of her first love. Is something that I relate to a lot. We all do. So I wanted to know how many of you all feel the same way. Therefore, the question of this week is, did you find it hard to move on from your first relationship? Let me know by voting in the poll on my Instagram at Lele Pons. Thank you so much for listening. I hope all of you have a happy, healthy week and that you'll join me again next week for more Best Kept Secrets.
If you or someone you know are struggling emotionally, text START to 741-741 for a confidential chat anytime.
Bum, bum.
Thanks for listening to Best Kept Secrets with me, Lele Pons, only on Spotify in partnerships with Shot Studios. The Shot Studios original team includes creators John Shahidi and Sam Shahidi, my lovely producer Belinda Mercer, and audio editor Stephen Colon. From Spotify Studios, executive producers Javier Pinot, Liz Gately, Gina Delvac, and Danny Treboj. And a special thanks to Dan Behar, Jessica Molina, Francisco Quijada, and Julio Pabon. I'm Lele. Follow me on Instagram at Lele Pons and check out my exclusive merch at lilshop.com. That is lilshop, Lil shop.com. Talk to you next week.